The San Antonio Spurs are going to the NBA Finals. Let's just get into it right now. All right. Well, Game 7 was pretty much everything we could have wished for. This Spurs OKC series ultimately ended up being fantastic. Yes, there was a lot of duds in the middle and 20-point blowouts, but Game 1 was a double overtime classic, and Game 7 lived up to the hype. Really, the Spurs kind of controlled this game the whole way through. The Thunder in the third looked like they were going to take over and make their run. But the Spurs just maintained and they kept that lead, and ultimately they got it done. And I don't even know where to start. Look, I love both of these teams. I love the Thunder. I love the Spurs. I'm sad for the Thunder now because they lost, but I'm super stoked for the Spurs. And it was going to be the other way around if the Thunder had won. But I don't even know where to start. I'm speechless because it just really, really, really feels like a monumental win. It feels like we are watching the start of the greatest basketball career ever. I know that's like crazy. I know it's just insane to say that right now because obviously Jordan has 6 rings. LeBron's got his 4. Steph's got his, Kobe's got 5. It's Wemby, we have known, could be this incredible, more than generational player, essentially. And we are seeing maybe the beginning of that. Of course, the Spurs still need to win 4 more and knock off the Knicks. And we'll talk and preview the finals later. But this just felt monumental to knock off the defending champs on the road in a Game 7. Unbelievable. What a performance by the Spurs. I'm not even saying by Wemby because, to be honest, that's the scariest part. Wemby was average today at best. It honestly, half the time you were probably watching wondering, is he on the court right now? Like it was that, average for him. And they still looked like the better team with an average Wemby because the other guys just played great. Luke Cornett with the block of the game. That was a huge 4-point swing. Dylan Harper, a rookie making a clutch 3-pointer. Then later on, a clutch offensive rebound putback. Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson coming alive in the fourth quarter. So, look, let's talk about the Spurs. Obviously, I'm already leaning that way talking about them. So let's go there, and then we'll talk about the Thunder. You got to feel so excited. Already watching this game, I was thinking to myself, even if the Spurs lose, if you're a Spurs fan, this is incredible. You should be so happy, right? Because you should be thinking to yourself like, man, our best player, our generational player is playing average ball right now, and we are leading at the end of the third quarter on the road against the defending champs in the Game 7. That in itself should excite you for the future. You've got Castle, and you've got Dylan Harper, a rookie, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Castle's in his 3rd year or 2nd year maybe. Actually, he's in the 2nd year. And that's your future backcourt. Okay, even if you didn't have Wemby, that's such an exciting backcourt. And you add arguably the greatest current player now, because after this, I mean, I don't know how next season, 1, I don't know how the Spurs aren't going to be favorites no matter what happens in the finals. And 2, I don't know how Wemby isn't going to be the favorite to win MVP. He's arguably at this point, and it's not even arguable soon, he is the best player in the NBA. And you've got that with one of the best backcourts because they're so young. It's incredible. So you would already feel so great. And the fact that you get this win on the road and now you're going to the NBA Finals. Now this young team's going to get that experience. And honestly, if you're a Spurs fan, I don't know how you don't see yourself winning the finals right now. I don't know in what world you think to yourself, we might lose to the Knicks. Like, the confidence has got to be sky high right now. You have a coach in Mitch Johnson that's a young guy. Like, everything that the Spurs have right now going for them, like, it almost feels like there's no way to screw this up right now, right? And that's why this feels monumental. It feels like the beginning of an incredible legacy for a player, but also the beginning of an incredible legacy for a team. They've got a lot of young guys on that team. We didn't even mention Devin Vassell, right? They've got other guys on that squad that are young and just, again, between Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, and Victor Wembanyama, like, what a core. What a core. So it's incredible. I'm not going to get into the Knicks series, but this game 7, they had poise. Champagny came in, knocked down some threes. Again, like they just controlled the game, and they had it almost looked like they were the experienced team, and they are not experienced, right? And I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than wow. Unbelievable win tonight by the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs fans go crazy. The finals are coming to San Antonio. It's a rematch with the Knicks, and it's going to be wild. And don't sell your tickets if you're Spurs fans to the Knicks fans. You show some pride and don't give those seats up, okay? I mean, the Spurs, look, they are a successful franchise, and they've gotten their titles in the past, several years, I guess you could say. It's been some time now, but in the last 20 years, they have like 3 or 4 titles. So you've had success as a franchise, but this just feels like a brand new era of another incredible up and coming run. I don't see a world in which, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, prisoner of the moment, but I just don't see how they're not going to have multiple titles with that core. It's wild. Like the GM would have to purposely screw that up. And we'll shift gears now, because that's exactly, I guess, what you would have said about the Thunder last year, right? So the Thunder last year are the young and up and coming team. They're the team with all the assets. They're the team that, has the MVP and SGA, and they have, J-Dub, and they have Chet Holmgren, the number 2 pick, who's, incredible. Well, what happened now? You lose a game 7. Now, look, obviously, if you're a Thunder fan, you feel deflated. Your title defense is scratched. It's over. But I'm here to just say that if I was a Thunder fan, I'm proud of my team, right? That's what I would say, because I know that y'all are like, what? What are you talking about? Well, let me break it down. What other team would be missing their second best player and have their third best player be a dud in this series, essentially, and play the role of a bench guy, essentially, in Chet Holmgren, who was a ghost out there? You couldn't find him. What other team would have their second best player out for the series and their third best player pretty much invisible and still get to a game 7 against that Spurs team? So when you look at it that way, they had injuries. AJ Mitchell became I don't want to call him, he wasn't a starter. He was a starter because of injury, but let's say a pretty important role player for the Thunder. He was out, right? So you look at it that way and you think, okay, you know what? It's disappointing for the Thunder, but second best player's out, and Chet just, was a ghost. But ultimately, the Chet situation is what worries me. And I mean, J-Dub too, because J-Dub has had a hamstring issue since last year at this point. So what's going on there? Like, is that going to be something that kind of derails his career for a while because he can't get right? And now you're staring at the second apron. So that's another issue coming up for the Thunder. Now, are they going to make a panic move because they just took on Victor Wembanyama and lost? So are they going to trade now their assets to get a Giannis Antetokounmpo there? Do you ship Chet Holmgren to Milwaukee and say, see you later, bring in Giannis and try to run this back next year that way? And hey, maybe next year that does give you a fighting chance against the Spurs now. I mean, you had a fighting chance this year. I'm just saying, like, maybe that's the difference, right? But it is the deflating part of it to me is that this Spurs team is only going to get better. If I'm the league, if I'm any other team in the league, it almost makes me feel like, man, why even try, right? Like, damn, like these guys are going to get even better. It's not like they're facing the second apron yet and have to trade one of their core pieces. They have cap space still that they could use to, re-sign some of the role guys. They have draft picks still that they haven't traded. Like, damn, like they are in a incredible runway right now to success. Again, I'm obviously getting ahead of myself, saying they still need to win 4 more games. You can't lose in the finals now and start, counting rings because you wouldn't have one yet, right? But I'm just saying they have such a bright future. And if you're the Thunder, what do you do? I mean, this game, honestly, I thought by the second half, I would have probably benched Chet. He still made some plays defensively and had some blocks, and that's fine. But offensively, he became a liability. Like at that point, you could see it. I mean, one of the plays, the shot clock's running down. There's 5 seconds left on the shot clock. He didn't want no business. He almost started to post up and then realized it was Vic behind him. And he was like, all right, never mind. Don't give me the ball. Like he was shook. I mean, the box score, he finished with like 4 and 4 today, I think. Let's take a look here. I mean, yeah, 4 points, 4 rebounds in 33 minutes. You're supposed to be one of the core pieces on this team. I would have closed with Hartenstein, and honestly, Jalen Williams played better. 26 minutes. He had 11 and 10. At least give me that, Chet. And even that, to be honest, I would be disappointed because Chet is, a top draft pick. Chet is about to get max contract money, and you can't be doing that in a game 7. And, respect to SGA. SGA finished with 35 on 12 of 21 shooting, 9 assists. SGA gave it his all, 43 minutes. And that's one thing I will say, though. I'm tired of these guys making excuses for these guys saying, well, he's played. They were talking about SGA being tired towards the end of the game, saying he's played 42 minutes. It's a 48-minute game. Then do extra cardio after practice. You should be expecting to play the whole game. Like, it's a game 7. It kind of bothered me that the Spurs were doing that too. They were taking Wemby out for like 30-second breathers. And to me, at some points, I thought it was important parts of the game. Like when Cornette got that block, Wemby was on the bench, and then it was basically 2 possessions. He got like 40 seconds of rest. Like, if you need 40 seconds of rest that bad, then go run some extra laps in practice and get your cardio up. Like, what are we doing? It's game 7. So, the minutes thing, I'm not going to give SGA credit for that. Like, nah, it's game 7. I would have expected you to play 48 minutes if you had to. And I'm sure he would have too. He's a competitor. But for the Spurs to pull this out, I mean, incredible. And if you're the Thunder, again, obviously it's disappointing. The season comes to an end and you don't defend your title. And people were already, including myself, thinking like maybe this is a dynasty, but you could still maybe hang your head on injuries, right? Like J-Dub, that's a big one. And I know that when he played in game 6 and he didn't do anything really. And people are like, J-Dub, whatever. That guy scored 40 points in the finals last year, right? That guy is an all-star. That guy is a real player. So that is, that's certainly something. I'm not saying like he's not SGA, but that would have made a difference. I mean, I think especially in a game 7 where you needed guys to be aggressive and, you had to start Lou Dort again, which I would have started Caruso, but Lou Dort's out there and he still was struggling. He's been struggling the whole series. So look, we'll see what happens with the Thunder. I don't even know what to do. Part of me is wondering, like, do you make the panic move and send picks to Milwaukee for Giannis? And normally I would say, no, you don't do that. Like, don't make the panic trade. You're still a relatively young team. Look how close you got. You got within, a couple minutes or within one game of the finals that you likely, if you were healthy, would have won against the Knicks. Like, don't panic. But the reason to panic is that the Spurs are going to get better. So I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I'm still on a high from an incredible game 7. Again, I just don't know which direction you go if you're the Thunder. Like, if you get Giannis there, and if you plug him in instead of Chet, do you win this game? I would say yes, you would win this game. And you might have won this series in 6. But the point is, it's not this year anymore. If you get Giannis, it's next year. And Giannis is a year older. And the Spurs now are a year more experienced. Dylan Harper now is not a rookie anymore, right? Stephon Castle is, growing. Victor Wembanyama is growing. Like, this team is young. And that's the issue. I mean, that's the part that I don't know what to think. I don't know how you would, again, Stephon Castle, this is his 2nd season in the league, right? And these are the guys leading the Spurs to the finals. So I don't know what you do if you're the Thunder. Do you keep your draft picks and just hope that you hit on your own other superstar? But the problem is too, you're going to have to start getting rid of some of these guys. Maybe you just try to get rid of Chet for picks and you try to hit again because the second apron's coming up. So you have to do something. If you trade for Giannis, that's great and all, but that is your team now, right? You're going to still be pretty much capped out. And I do think a core of SGA and J-Dub and Giannis can compete with a core of Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama for sure. But that means you just got older, while the Spurs, not necessarily that they're getting younger, but that discrepancy in youth has drastically changed now when you bring in a guy like Giannis that's up there in age. He's not that old, but I'm saying in NBA years, he ain't young no more. So interesting situation. But this game 7 was insane. Keldon Johnson, Dylan Harper making big shots, Champagnie making big shots. I thought the Thunder towards the end played rushed. I mean, they were down 9 with 3 minutes left. Cason Wallace, props to you, man. That guy made 4 threes in the fourth quarter and kept the Thunder within striking distance. But then, I just felt like they looked like the inexperienced team. There were still 3 minutes left. They're down 9. They get a fast break, and McCain chucks up a 3 from the corner. Like, clearly Vic was trying to contest that 3. Pump fake, drive in, take your 2 points, make it 7. Start putting pressure on the Spurs. But instead, you took this 3. The Spurs get the rebound, and that felt like the gut punch for the Thunder. Like, that's when it was like, it already felt like it was heading towards the end of their season. But once McCain missed that 3, I thought was a bad shot. That was it. And coming out of our last time out, SGA took, in my opinion, a bad shot too. He just happened to make it because he was just a great player. But they came out of a timeout, and he took a shot with Victor and another guy contesting the 20-foot jump shot. And it looked like he got fouled on that too, but he made it. But it cut the lead from 11 to 9. But I thought it was a bad shot coming out of the timeout. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. The last thing I'll say is, SGA gets fouled on the 3-point attempt, and I could see already people complaining about like, oh, flopping. Look at him try to sell that 3-point shot. That's not a natural shooting motion. They all do that. Okay. Victor in the first half acted like he tore his ACL, grabbed his knee for like half a second, then got up and started running back. And it looked like he was about to start acting and then realized it was a live ball and kept running. Like, these guys all try to sell calls, okay? Especially that 3-point shot that SGA had that he got. I think it was Vassell to jump on or whoever it was to foul him on a 3-point shot. Like, we've seen them all do that, okay? So it's part of his game because he's smart. Right? Because he gets rewarded with free throws. Now, if he got rewarded with a fine from the league for flopping, guess what? The flopping would stop. But they all do it. They're all flopping. So I respect SGA's game. I don't care how people want to, hate on him. But I have a huge amount of respect for the Thunder and a huge amount of respect for the Spurs. And I think these two teams have been patient and incredibly smart and built their franchises to be in a situation where they can have a lot of success. But this game today just felt, because of, not just his physical stature of Victor Wembanyama, but the stature that he has within the league already, this being his 3rd year, and he's already pretty much the face of the league, and how dominant he can be. It feels like the beginning of an era where teams are just going to, maybe incredible, great teams might just run into the Spurs, and that's the end of their run, because like teams that ran into Jordan, right? It feels that way, because I do believe that this Thunder team is an incredible, incredible basketball team. I like their coach, their front office, obviously super smart. And I think they just ran into Wemby. And I think 20 years from now, there's nothing embarrassing about that. I think 20 years, maybe not even 20, maybe 5 years from now, you might look back and be like, damn, we had a great team. And it's just, you know what? You got to tip your cap to the other team, because they have the best player on the planet right now. And they were playing like a team. Again, Victor did not have an outstanding game, and they looked outstanding. So congrats to the Spurs. Congrats to the Spurs fans, and enjoy this and get ready for the Knicks. We'll do a finals preview, but I'll just say this. After this game, and I'm prisoner of the moment right now, I don't see how I'm not picking the Spurs, right? They look incredible. So y'all have a good night. OKC fans, heads up. I think you guys have a great team. You ran into the best player in the world right now, and a team that's clicking on all cylinders. And you still have an incredible player in SGA, a dog. He showed up in the game 7. And yep, you know what? There's issues there with like, what are you going to do about Chet? But you might get Giannis, and then you can be excited about that. And if you don't trade for Giannis, you guys are still a a solid franchise. You have healthy guys coming back. AJ Mitchell's relatively young. You have McCain now that's young. Those guys can develop. Again, you just hope that you don't run into Victor Wembanyama in the future, because it's hard to overcome that guy. But it's not just your problem. It's the problem for the 28 other teams. It's the Thunder's problem and everybody else's problem except the Spurs, because they can't run into themselves. So, yeah, incredible game. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you soon previewing the NBA Finals. Can't wait. Knicks, Spurs. Here we go.